I can't find a girlfriend. A viewer recently commented that on my video, and that really hit close to home just because I made a video about 2 years ago, and that was pretty much about me giving up on dating. And I'm like, okay, a lot of guys are honestly experiencing this. They're struggling with dating in today's generation, which, you know, it may not be the case for you guys in your certain situation, but if you look at the vast majority of men, a lot of men aren't really dating. And of course, this is my own personal opinion, but then you kind of look at the statistics, and I'm just trying to come from a logical perspective. Anyways, so if you can't find a girlfriend, it's no big deal. I know at the end of the day, it's not the greatest feeling. You're like, well, it makes you feel unattractive, it makes you feel unwanted. And I know, because that's how I felt when I was making that video when I said I was giving up on dating, which, you know, shortly after, life works really weird. When you least expect it, that's when things tend to happen for you. So after I made that video, shortly after, that's when I met my girlfriend that I'm currently with, which we've been together for a year and a half. If you guys don't know a little bit about me, well, I've been in a 5-year relationship that ended, that ended shortly after high school. And then I went for like 2 years being single. And then after that, I ended up meeting one of my other exes, which that relationship lasted about 4 or 5 months, which, it didn't work out. And then I went to maybe being single and alone for like another 6 months, which, of course, these parts where I was single, I was going out on dates, I was, meeting new people and all that. And then that's when I met my current girlfriend, which, we've been together for about a year and a half. And so far, it's been a really good relationship. It compares to that 5-year relationship. But I know from those times that when I wasn't dating, I got really discouraged. I was like, oh, okay, well, nobody finds me attractive. Nobody's interested in me. And honestly, it's just like, it kind of discourages you, which honestly, I'm going to give you guys pointers on here how you can start increasing your chances of possibly finding a relationship, which, if you guys think a relationship is going to solve everything, that's not going to be the case, because you got to understand that you got to focus on yourself. You need to understand on how to be alone and deal with things on your own, which that 5-year relationship kind of took away from that, because when after that 5-year relationship ended, I understood that, hey, you got to be okay with being by yourself. And I know at times it may feel lonely. You feel like you have no friends. You feel like you have nobody there to talk to. It just happens. You got to learn to keep your time occupied, do the things that you enjoy. And if you do have friends, try hanging out with them as much as you can. If they don't want to hang out, well, okay, pick up some new hobbies and all that. Anyways, guys, so, that relationship opened my eyes and made me understand that essentially that it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be isolated, but it takes time to learn that. So once you understand that it's not going to solve all your problems, all your issues of what you're currently feeling, if you're ready to do that and find a relationship, here's what I recommend you guys doing. So honestly, start working out. That's the best thing that you can do. And this is going to be based off my own personal experience. Once you start working out and you start feeling attractive, you start taking better profile pictures or whatever it is. If you guys are using dating apps, that's how I met my current girlfriend, is through one of the dating apps. And that's when we hung out. The thing that I understand, comparing and reflecting to my younger self, essentially, is when I was using the dating apps, my photos, they were all right. And then on top of that, I was a little bit on the skinnier side, so I was getting matches here and there, but it wasn't the type of matches that I really wanted. But when I started working out and I started putting on the mass, I noticed I started feeling pretty attractive. On top of that, I started feeling pretty confident as well. The other thing that I noticed was on the dating apps, I started getting more and more matches. And on top of that, you would actually have women reach out to you. They would be the ones sending the messages first. And it's just something that I kind of noticed. After I started putting on more and more mass, I started becoming more attractive, which, of course, the reason I say that I know it's because I got more attractive is because I notice I get more attention. There's times that I will go to the store that I will notice women smile at me, and this wouldn't happen versus my younger self, essentially. So anytime I'm going out to my day-to-day basis, I would notice women smile here and there. It wasn't like it happens all the time, but if I was to guess, maybe once a week. And you know, it kind of builds up on that confidence, which if you guys understand like the psychology with women and all that, essentially they find confidence really attractive. And on top of that, you probably display it subconsciously or consciously. It just kind of depends. It's one of those things, if somebody points something out, you're going to start paying attention to it. So just like, you know, hold that eye contact when you're just going to your day-to-day basis, and just see how many people look away first. That's something I'm going to be pointing out, is just try that, see if that's true. On top of that, see how many people smile at you. And if you start building up that physique and you start becoming more attractive, you're going to understand that people should smile at you more frequently. It's not always the case, it kind of depends on your situation. But the other thing to take into consideration is today's generation. We're always constantly on social media. We're always checking our mobile devices. We're always looking at, hey, what's the next best thing? So if you're struggling finding a girlfriend, you know, it's probably because they have so many. You got to understand, like with today's generation, we have so many options that there's actually a thing that's out there that the more options you have, it's harder to pick something and make a decision based off of it. I mean, just look at it when you do shopping. When you're shopping for something online and there's multiple of the same products, you're like, oh, okay, well, which one should I pick? And normally you pick the one that looks the best and has the best reviews or whatever it is when you're shopping. Same kind of applies with the dating apps. So in person is probably the best way, which for me, I'm a little bit, I'll be honest with you guys, I struggle with interacting, starting conversations and all that. Once I get the conversation started, you know, it's pretty easy, pretty simple, it's easy flowing, and for the most part the conversation will just continue. And this is something that I noticed, like when I was on the skinnier side, you know, the conversations were a little bit awkward. Women would put some effort into the conversation, but they wouldn't put it into a whole lot. And now that I've become more attractive, it's really easy. A lot of people just in general will treat you a whole lot better. So I always talk about this on my YouTube channel, that, you know, the more attractive you are, the more opportunities that present. So once you understand that attraction, people are always judging the book by its cover, understand the importance of looking attractive. Once you understand that, things become a whole lot easier. So the point that I was trying to say is, now that I become more attractive, women actually want to keep those conversations going. They're trying to entertain me for the most part. Of course, there's been a couple times that, you know, the conversation, it just doesn't go anywhere, and then I look for an excuse. I'm like, hey, it's getting late, I should probably go. But keep in mind, I haven't been dating for about 1.5 years now, so that's something to take into consideration. But the thing is that I'm really trying to emphasize is your looks. Once you increase your looks, things become a whole lot easier on finding a girlfriend, or, you know, finding somebody that's interested in you, getting these matches on dating apps, getting these conversations to go a little bit smoother. So that's the whole reason why I'm emphasizing that, because you can't really deny attraction. It's one of those things that it plays a major importance, and a lot of people will tell you otherwise, that it's not important, but it is. You look at anything in this life, people are always judging the appearance of it. They're like, oh, that looks pretty cool. Oh, that kind of looks, you know, all right. I mean, look at it when you go shopping. When you go for shopping for a car, I mean, everybody wants that nice, luxurious car, but not everybody can afford it. And, you know, people kind of pick things based off the appearance. So that's why I'm saying your appearance really, really matters. Once you understand that, hit the gym, you start eating right, then you start taking better photos, and then, you know, just going based off your experiences, if you're hanging out with women and all that, I'm assuming that's your guys' priorities. Start developing the conversations, the personality. That's when you can start developing, oh, okay, well, this is, you know, this social cue. You can tell when somebody is not interested in you, or when they lose interest. You're like, oh, okay, you know, this person's not paying attention, they're daydreaming. You can just kind of pick up off of it, and you'll understand that they have no interest. So that's why I'm really emphasizing this part. I'm not emphasizing the other parts, because the first thing I want to get you guys started is on, you know, how to attract that person, because that's the hardest part in today's generation, is attracting that person. Once you attract them, it's much easier to keep them around, where they won't lose interest in you, because You know, if they do lose interest in you, that's when your relationship's probably going to end. That's when that attraction kind of goes away, which there can be multiple reasons why that happens. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but you know, I do have the experience, which if you guys do want to understand a little bit more about that, I can explain more in that 5-year relationship and this current relationship that I've been in for a year and a half, because so far this relationship that I've been in compares to that 5-year relationship. They're very similar. That 4-month relationship was a relationship that needed to ended. I understood that, you know, it wasn't good. It wasn't going to go anywhere. It wasn't meaningful. So if you guys have any questions about relationships and all that, I can make another video. Just go ahead and comment down below, or whatever you guys have an interest in, and I'll probably make a video on that. But anyways, guys, once you understand, main point of this video, increase your looks, increase your pictures. Everything else will follow. Then you can build up on the rest. Shorter video because it's already taking up quite a bit of time. Don't forget to smash that like button, and I'll go ahead and catch you guys on the next